Hi again, it's Jim Reavis, CEO of Cloud Security Alliance, and welcome to the 2024 Cloud Threats and Vulnerabilities Summit. This is one of our most popular summits, I think, that we conduct every year. We get lots of people because this is certainly some of the most important areas as we talk about having real-time continuous security, that we've got to always understand the evolving threats and vulnerabilities and the appropriate countermeasures for them. And I think we do a pretty good job in this conference, this two-day conference. Actually, I think we do an amazing job of providing some really good balance. We have a lot of large enterprises, independent researchers, biggest cloud providers that can give you this problem at scale and help you understand where things are going. And so I'm hoping that you'll be able to enjoy this and take in as many sessions as you can over these 2 days. And certainly I'd love to hear from you on what you like, don't like, what you'd like to see in the next version of this. But I wanted to spend just a little time sort of sharing a little bit my perspective and also where I think things are going right now, and tell you a little bit more about CSA if you're not familiar with it before we get on with the rest of the show. So again, I'm Jim Reavis, I'm the CEO. And Cloud Security Alliance, we are in our 15th year actually, and we're going to have our 15th summit at the RSA conference in a little over a month. And I hope many of you are able to go see that. We are actually doing, and it's a theme you're going to see with what I talk about here, we're doing a little bit of a pivot where it's actually focused on AI. It's the CSA AI Summit at RSA. And it's certainly, I think, obvious why we need to be doing that. It's a very critical, important trend, and we need to get our handle on it. It's transforming so much of what we know or thought we knew about cloud and cybersecurity and the internet at large. And so I think you're going to find that's going to have a lot of great information for you. So, the 15 years, what's been the secret to our success and continuing to grow and be a very robust organization? Well, it's really you. It's really the community out there. All of our work that we do is really based on this foundation of volunteers all around the world. So when you think about CSA and what we are known for, maybe the most is our research, and our research around best practices, new threats, issues. These are all things that are actually worked on, created, inspired by the community. And we try to get involved every sort of stakeholder in this process. So certainly leaders at CISOs, they're very important to give us perspectives on what's important. But the grassroots, the systems administrators, engineers, developers, they actually are the heart of this. And I've always fundamentally believed that those people on the front line, they're the ones that are going to save us from the existential threats and issues that you may see in the future. It's always going to be down to them, I think. So if you're not super familiar with CSA, though, or even if you are, I really encourage you to go check out our research. So you can see our research front page, landing page here. And if you go to that, you're able to get involved in a variety of different working groups just by drilling down, clicking through, and signing up. But you can also just peruse the many hundreds and probably thousands now of research artifacts we have that no doubt have some solutions to some of the key problems you're looking at in your organization. So it's something that doesn't cost you anything. It's an investment of time, but being involved or understanding our research, telling us what some of the issues are you'd like for us to take a look at are pretty important. So please take a look at that and check it out. So related to that, sort of part of it, but also doing other things, as I mentioned, this pivot is we have invested a lot of time and resources in launching our AI safety initiative. And this really does look at generative AI in a very holistic fashion. It's a matter of what are the threats and issues that we need to be worried about from the perspective of both how do these AI systems get attacked, as well as how are they used in the way they were intended to be used to create different sorts of attacks, as well as how can it, I think very importantly, how can it change and improve cybersecurity? At the last RSA in 2023, most of the organizations that I talked to that were exhibitors on the floor, there were a few of them that had a good generative AI strategy, roadmap, even some deliverables, but not too many. And it's amazing how much it's changed just in the last few months. And I sort of jokingly call it the co-pilotization of cybersecurity, but that's kind of what's happening. And I think we're going to find so many new things that we need to be looking at and understanding here. So the third thing I wanted to call out for you is to make sure you go check out our STAR program. So our STAR program is our security, trust, assurance, and risk area. It features our most popular download of all our cloud controls matrix, which is our control framework, as well as a lot of other tools. There's our registry, so you can actually see how the cloud providers out there, how they've complied with this, but it gives you some really good tools for an appropriate, balanced, risk-based view to how you can implement the right security controls, how you can think about doing this in an agile way, how you can understand the responsibility between yourself and the cloud provider and maybe the multiple cloud providers that you're dealing with, and so that you know what you should be focused on, what they need to be focused on, and so we don't have sort of security issues slip between the cracks. So certainly encourage you to check that out. So I wanted to just end this with sharing a few just sort of random thoughts about where I think some of the issues are, and I think some of the things that you're going to actually see in this event with a lot of experts calling out and talking about. So when I think about what's in the news in terms of breaches and issues and what we need to work on, certainly there's a few things that come to mind. And identity is something that we've had different years where it was this is going to be the year of identity, that we've got the tools where we can implement identity that's secure and trusted and frictionless, easy to use. And it's always seemed to elude us. When we're moving into this generative AI fused world with cloud, you are going to see we're approaching this world where it is just increasingly difficult to discern between what's real and what's fake. And identity is going to be the key way that we sort of understand that and drill down. And I think back to when I was first on the internet and we were sending around credit cards when we didn't even have encryption yet. And we learned how to look at, with SSL being implemented, how to look for the lock. And I think we're gonna move into that world, which is very much identity, but more than just identity, but having this immutable logging to understand all the different steps to create the content that you see, which is almost always, I think, in the future going to be a hybrid between things that are created by humans and things that are created by AI. And I think understanding how to become more modernized in our identity infrastructure, get passwordless going, multi-factor as much as we can, having sort of this loosely coupled architecture with our applications so that we can have systems that aren't brittle and don't require complete rewrites and a lot of technical debt around how identity operates. So I think it's really important. I do think also this over permissioning trend and just this cloud sprawl of not having as good a visibility and understanding when you have assets that should have been decommissioned and yet they're still out there, that seems to be a way that the malicious actors get in and move laterally around their organizations. So we need to be thinking about that. We need to be like trying to have that minimal permissions to make applications work, which can be a challenge. It takes a little extra time, but it's all very doable. And I think you'll learn a lot of strategies and tools for that. And just ending again on that AI impact. I think it's so interesting to think about how much this automation, and there's been a lot of talk about this, these larger context windows, these more powerful AI systems, how people are jamming more and more code into a context window and finding 0 days, finding a lot more vulnerabilities. We got to understand that. So even if you're not deploying a lot of AI in your organization, you need to understand how malicious actors are using this, but also how the good guys in cybersecurity can use prompt engineering to take things to the next level. So, think about it, go check out what we're doing in the AI safety initiative and engage with us. So I hope you have a great event. Definitely love to hear about your suggestions on what else we could do. And I will see you soon. Thank you.